Today, we are on a road to Hollywood for a very special reason. I'm going to bring one of your leading ladies out with you, and she recalls the first time she worked with you that you were a little nervous about the script. Does that sound familiar? Doesn't it?
No.
Well, we can get the story from her. Here's Lucy. All right, if you start to cry.
Thank you.
Can't stand to see a grown woman cry.
Thank you very much.
Isn't that lovely?
Yes.
Doesn't that kind of make it, huh? Isn't that worth it?
Can we go now before we do something wrong?
Yeah.
You were worried about the script on the first film you did with Bob?
Pardon?
Here we go again. We do have these problems, don't we? I do ask funny questions of you. You remember the last time you were on the show, you complained about my questions?
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember? Well...
What was it? Really, what'd you ask me? I'm sorry.
I said that in the opening, just before I brought you out, it isn't important, but I said that
It isn't important, then why go into it?
I have my problems with her. No, Lucy. What was the first film you...
Yes, Dinah.
What was the first film you and Bob ever did together? You and Bob Hope here.
Sorrowful Jones. Wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Right.
Well, I'm glad we both remembered so well. Yeah.
What do you remember?
Sorrowful Jones.
What do you remember most about Sorrowful Jones?
Well, I was in awe, first of all. And I had taken the part because it was serious. And I was assured that Mr. Hope thought it was a serious piece, too. It was a remake of Little Miss Marker, which was one of the great, great pictures. And I was very anxious to work with Bob and terrified. But it was a serious piece, and it was, you know, when they told me about it, they said Mr. Hope was going to do the remake just the way it was and all that. And then we got on the set, and he was having a lot of conferences with his writers. And I wasn't any part of them. I was in my dressing room and whatnot. And they came in with some changes. And I said, does Mr. Hope know about these? They said, well, naturally, or you wouldn't be getting them. And I said, well, these are jokes in a very important scene. And Bob doesn't even know what I'm talking about, probably. Anyway, true, Bob, don't you hit me. I said, but I don't want to do the scene with jokes. It's a very important, serious scene. I said, well, now it's not that important if Mr. Hope wants. I said, no. Oh, no. I said, well, then you go tell him. I said, all right. I mean, little did I know. Yeah. I was walking into the lion's den. I had no idea, and they couldn't believe it. I said, well, all right, I'll go in and talk to him. And I rap. Mr. Hope, may I come in? He said, yes. I went in, and I told him, and he sat there, and he looked just like that. Just stared at me.
I said, come in and lie down.
No, you...
She looked tired.
Misunderstanding,
yes,
don't they, you
yes.
poor darling?
You and I.
Yes, of course. Go ahead, Lucy.
That's it.
All I want to tell you is about that little story is that I wish we could make a few more Sorrowful Joneses.
Yeah, but you did come around our way.
Yes, baby, but it was all the things that we put in. It's like Bing, you know how the road picture started? We had a thing, they had a thing called
born then.
Flight to... You mean the second time.
Oh, it's gonna It's going to be one
You
of those.
know that Bing and I used to get together every morning.
Not his first leading lady.
There was some beautiful thing called Hartman and Butler, two guys that wrote a picture called Flight to Singapore, you know?
Uh-huh.
And Bing and I used to get these scripts, and my guys, I was on radio at that time, and I used to hand them the script. They'd come in with these jokes, and I'd get Bing in my room and say, hey, what about this? What about this so-and-so? We'd go on the set and wacko. You know, and it actually made the road series because we did nutty.
That's what I didn't want.
Nutty
Wacko.
stuff.
I didn't want wacko in that scene. And I had the guts.
That's before you were,
out of
honey, that's before you were directing them.
That's true. That's why it was so amazing that's why they said, my God, she's out of her mind. You know, but let her go. She'll find out. But he came out and he said, well, okay, we'll try it that way, you know. So.
What about Fancy Pants? Was he different on that?
I almost killed him. But I didn't mean to.
No.
But we really put him through the ringer. We had a great director that both of us adored, George Marshall. Yeah. God bless him. Yeah. And
on what, Powerful Joan?
No, on...
This is on Fancy Pants.
Fancy Pants.
Yeah, it was great.
And Bob had a lot of physical things to do. And he really did
liked
them.
That.
Well, no, he didn't. He didn't like it that much. But for George, he would do anything. Any of us would. But he got hurt terribly on that thing. And George Marshall taught me to rope and ride on what'd you call them? Railroad ties. What do you call them? Down a railroad.
Railroad ties.
Yeah.
And on a horse, going down and really roping him on one of those carts that you pump on a railroad. It was unbelievable that I did it. But he taught me, and I got him. I almost killed him. Then on a barrel. Yeah. He fell over the barrels. He did everything that was asked of him, but he wound up with a few sprained things that I think he still has.
One, two, 2, 1. Okay. You made Facts of Life now. You ended up in the hospital on that one, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, we loved making that.
Oh, that was the most adorable movie. There's a picture.
Thank you.
I think that movie is a classic. Why were you in the hospital on that one?
I did a stupid thing. I was stepping into a boat, and the assistant manager, or what do you call it, assistant director, offered his hand, and I ignored it like that and took the little leap into the boat and fell 5.5 feet straight down on my eye, on this side of my head. And we only had about 3 weeks to go on the picture. And
oh, that's
it
terrifying.
was, yeah, it was bad. And very... What?
Oh, no, I didn't realize you hadn't finished. Excuse me.
Well, I've finished.
Okay.
All right, I haven't finished.
Okay.
I thought maybe you had something to say.
No, I haven't. Of course not.
It's just that Bob and I were so wrapped up in this picture, and I had to go to a hospital and be gone for a month. And that's all I wanted to tell you. He just...
Did they stop production
They
on the
had
picture?
to.
Can I cut in
for a
now?
whole month?
You mind if I cut in?
No.
Because we made this at Lucille's studio. You know, she owned what General Studio. That was the Desilu studio, and she owned it. And it wasn't her. It was a United Artists picture, and we were just renting that thing. And they had a big stockholders meeting of Desilu, and Lucy went to it at noon, and all the stockholders came back to the set with their statements under their arms and watched us do this one scene where we're walking on the plane. And as the guy said action, this little old gal pulled out a bell and howl, sounded like a concrete mixer, and went, and the assistant director went over and almost broke her arm and said, lady, you cannot take movies on this set of this scene. She said, I've got $10,000 in this company. I'm going to shoot whatever I like.
Listen, we've had so many wonderful glowing. What about Critics' Choice? That was one you did together.
Yep.
Critics' Choice.
Yep.
Want to talk about that?
Nope.
Yep. Why don't we tell them how we tried to sell it, though?
Why don't we tell him how we tried to get out of it?
What
No,
happened?
we didn't try to get out of it. We did
Well,
it.
we went
but-
out on the
but
road to
we
sell
did we did a thing in New York trying to sell that picture. You know, no matter how you try to sell a picture, if it's not there, you're not going to sell it.
No.
Because the people sell a picture, you know.
That's right.
I don't know how this, what is this,
Star
Wars,
Wars.
which I thought was the story of my life.
After the day, you'll be
I don't know how that thing got started, but all of a sudden, they like it, zingo. You know, and the word says you got to see it, and they're lining up at 8 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, we wanted to sell, and they talked Lucy and I, and going back to New York and having a few openings. 11 openings in one day, Dinah.
in New York.
Did you hear what I said?
I did. 11 in one.
11 theaters
They're
we
merciless.
played in a bus trying to hustle this piece of film. And the audience would sit out there and say, like a bunch
awful
of
feeling?
drunken barbers.
That was our only flop, though. Let's forget
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
We won't talk about that. All right, listen.
And they finally got the money back on TV.
Did they?
I think yesterday it finally wound up.
We tried to sneak
Channel
that,
84.
remember?
Listen, this next lady was one of your co-stars, and here comes a girl.